Greetings, readers and travelers and listeners alike. My name is Richie Stevens,
I'm Joel.
and this is another exciting episode of Chattin' Stats, our favorite Lit RPG podcast. Joining us today, you guys know him. He's one of the Duck Squad members. He writes some of the most brutal shit I've ever read, but this time, the book we're going to be talking about, not as brutal. But you know him, you'll love him. Author TJ Lombardi. TJ, how you doing today, my man?
I'm good, you guys. Thanks for having me on.
Hey,
Love
we're
always
excited.
coming on some Chattin' Stats.
This is what, your third time on the show? I think. Because we did one before Dragon Con 2023.
Yeah,
then we did one for Bloodbath,
I
and now Golem Master.
Yeah. And I think I was even tag teaming on someone else's, so it may be my fourth. I mean, we all love a little tag team action, so.
Yeah, I mean, we did our little crossover event at Guildify Con. So, but today we're going to talk about Golem Master and Golem
Why
Master.
not?
Yeah, I mean, it's
This
not
book.
just your newest
This
series.
book right here.
Yeah, we got it. We got our copies right there. It's on his sweatshirt. I'm not
It
wearing
is
my
on my
Dying Breed
sweatshirt.
today. I apologize. So,
Well, this is the newest version. I had the original OG version. I still have that, but I was like, no, I need to get my new one. So this is the latest. I just finished the sweatshirt for book 2. So book 2 is in a purple sweatshirt, and it's got your rating from Amazon. It's got like 5 different ratings on the back, whereas this one has all the Patreon members to say thanks to them. So
all right, I'll have to get me that one because one, it's in purple, which I find it funny because you asked me. Well, we'll get to that in a second, actually.
Sure.
To break it down. So, Golem Master, why don't you give us the brief story of how Golem Master came to be really quickly?
Yeah, sure. So the story, when I started writing, you really have 1,000 different ideas that just fire off inside your brain. You start to go down little rabbit holes. And as I started to get more into my writing, I was like, you know what? I just loved when I first found Pokemon for the first time. Like I can tell you the exact spot I was when I saw Pokemon. And then when I started playing Pokemon, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like, this is awesome. But I really love Full Metal Gundam series, even though like I really didn't get into that universe. I love Pacific Rim, like what that universe was supposed to be. And I also really liked this story, Real Steel with Hugh Jackman, that movie. And so for months, actually like a year, I was just like, dude, these are so cool. Like, I wish I could write my own type of story that really touches on all these different nostalgic things. So then it was Guildify Con 2023. I'm sitting in Arizona and I'm watching one of the panels, and it was Brian Norden, Michael Chatfield, I think Rose Reynolds. And the question was asked basically like, what do you think, like, what are we not doing enough of in Lit RPG story-wise? And Michael Chatfield was like, I think we should do more with golems. And then I was like, oh my God, like the light bulb hit. And I was like, now I know how I can tell this story that incorporates all of these different things that I've loved about these IPs. And so the idea took off. I wrote the prologue, I think November 2023. And then I think I wrote chapter 1 around December or January of 24. I sent it to Brian Norden. I'm like, here you go, fucker. Like this. And he's like, what is this? And I'm like, this is going to be my next series. And he gave me some feedback, and I started writing it March of 24, and I haven't stopped since.
Well,
so are you a prologue first guy?
Not always. In my Dying Breed series, I didn't do a prologue. I just jumped right in. Okay. In Bloodbath, I wrote the entire story, and then I thought, you know what? I need some type of prologue. I just felt I needed it. I tried 2 different prologues, completely different, and I scrapped them. I'm like, this is bullshit. And so I went for a walk, and it hit me like lightning, and I ran back to the house, and I wrote the prologue for Bloodbath. So I only do a prologue for the first book in a series, and then I just go from there.
Okay. Well, and we'll go ahead and tackle the big thing about, like, one of the coolest things about this book is the cast.
Okay.
The cast
well-
is a love letter to all the authors and members in the Lit RPG community, because we got, like, just right out the gate, you got Nick Boslow and JD Glasscock as the announcers for the Gollum League that Pepper's watching.
Yep.
You got Ryan DeBruin, KT Hanna, Charles Dean, and I'm just scrolling down the list here. And I hate the pictures you chose. I hate the pictures you chose for Joel and I, because Joel and I are in the book as the loving principal and vice principal of Status Academy. So why did you decide to go with all of the Lit RPG authors, like giving them little Easter eggs and characters within the book? Because you don't see that
absolutely.
a lot.
Right. And, that's where that continues on into book 2, into book 3. Like, there's certain characters that I have not even touched on because it's like, I know exactly where I want to put them for what reasons. But,
Geneva's got a point.
I know, right? We should put those guys to work. Come on. Authors can't have vacations. They need to keep adding and working as cosplay.
Hey, I'll film it, Geneva. We'll get it going.
Yeah, and you know what? We'll have Ryan Maxwell and Jay Baraz like dress up, and they'll just be the simulated golems fighting each other in like the main lobby of the hotel. I think that would be fucking amazing.
Oh no, Ryan Maxwell and Uncle Troll. That's gonna be interesting.
Yeah. Well,
I'm watching.
To really answer your question, I think the dedication to the book. Like, what was this book really about? This book was truly a love letter to the community. I know Geneva and I joke about it, but like, I went from being banned from one of the Lit RPG communities to immediately being put in as a panelist for Guildify Con, and like the community welcomed me with open arms. I mean, I had not even read a Lit RPG book yet, and yet I have Jez Kajio. I reached out to him after meeting him at Guildify Con. I'm like, dude, can you help me with this? And he helped me. I reached out to Seth Ring, only meeting him once. And he's like, oh, hey, dude, yeah, what do you need help with? Like, the entire community, whether you're a reader or a fellow author, narrator, moderator of groups, she'll still never know because they can't figure it out. They have no knowledge of why it happened. I know why, but they'll never know. The community is such an amazing thing. And I think for me, I am very protective of the community from people who want to try to exploit it, because for me, it's like almost every single author within the community has come from the community and started as a reader. And so for me, I'm like, tell me about Paul Hasseltine. Tell me about, Brandon Hogg. Tell me about all of these people within the community that we love and support one another. I just get very protective, but I'm like, dude, everyone is so amazing and welcoming. How can I not have a world that tries to touch on some amazing qualities? Now, granted, I do feel bad about some characters such as Ryan DeBruin, because I love this jolly old man so much. And I never intended for him to take certain things the way he has in the book, but it's so funny. I can't stop myself. So there's some things where I'm like, he's not like this in real person. I hope he'll forgive me, but he's too amazing of a person not to have in this world. So
we love Ryan, and he's a good buddy of ours, and I'm excited to see him and almost everyone in this book at Lit RPG Con, because it feels like almost everyone's going to be there. So that means we're just gonna have to get a big old group picture for the Golem Master. Like,
yeah, dude, that's a great idea. I love that. Oh, and that's where, so many of them, like I met you guys at Dragon Con. And so a lot of their dialogue, I would be like, how would this person say this? And I would just think back to those memories of hanging out at the Westin and all those other places. And so that's where I was like, you know what? KT Hannah, there was a certain incident that happened to me at Dragon Con. She sees me standing there and she's like, hun, what is wrong? And I tell her what happened. And she's like, nope, come here. She gives me this big hug. And she's like, I don't care what it is. I will go fight this person for you. And so I'm like, she is a mom figure to me in that moment, or an older sister. I want my main character to experience that from her. So that's why like her character was very much based in that way.
Yeah.
It's so wholesome.
She comes off exactly how she is in real life in the book.
Mhm.
Thanks, man.
I think
This, like,
everyone's
mother figure.
I think everyone has like an accurate description, and it
Really?
just fits. Hey, hold on, Joel. I said almost everyone.
He's been
Almost.
tensing up. He's just been waiting for
Oh
this
no,
haymaker of a moment.
he's ready, and I might let Joel have his little moment here in a second. But when like Joel and I had always like wanted to pitch an idea for the show of doing an episode of Stats where it was a D&D game where Joel and I were the headmasters and everything. And then I remember, when we were talking about it, and it's like, hey, you're doing an arena. Can I just could we be the headmasters? Like, just curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Here you go. I was like, okay, that works. And then so you asked me, hey, what colors would Status Academy be? What would the colors of Status Academy be? And I said purple and gold. So I find it funny that your first hoodie's yellow. Second hoodie's going to be purple because I love the Vikings.
I didn't even think about that.
I love the Vikings. You shot it down right then and there when I was like, oh yeah, it's the Vikings colors. You're like, nope, never mind. You're not allowed to pick that.
Yeah. Well, so the whole reason behind the gold, I just naturally was drawn to the gold because it is very much from that Pokemon vibe.
Yeah.
The purple really came off for the gravitational rune that Pepper is going to utilize, and I felt it played so well with the red number 2.
Okay.
So that's where that came in. So yeah, which you guys have seen the cover for book 2. So.
Oh yeah, and it's gorgeous. I've already started reading it on Royal Road.
Right here.
Yes, that one. Yeah, there's a slight modification on Pepper. I didn't like the way he came out in that. So there's been like 4 different versions of Pepper drawn, and I finally was able to get the one that I wanted. I'm like, thank you. So yeah. And then book 3's cover is done. So it will be revealed with the ARC copy of book 2, just like that was done.
Oh, I can't wait.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then of course we got the audiobook coming by the amazing Daniel Wisniewski. Now Dan, I don't know if you're watching, probably not. You probably have better things to do. Dan, you're gonna kill it with this. No pressure. Just make Joel and I the most obnoxious characters with your voices. Do it. I don't care. That's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's where, I still have some work to do for Dan to prep him and get him ready for the audiobook. But I think there's going to be a few surprises in there that you guys will enjoy. I'm hoping, and I'm just hoping for a bloopers reel, but more especially in book 2, because I've been going through edits again, and there are moments where I just am still laughing, and I'm like, fuck, that's hilarious.
Are you putting the edited versions of the like the edits you're doing on Royal Road when you post it, or are the Royal Road ones going to be the like finalized versions?
No, so Royal Road is straight raw. Like it's literally unedited. I don't even have time to do a second pass on it. So I will literally put it on my Patreon, and then I put it on Royal Road. So in Patreon, we're already up to like 140,000 of book 3.
Oh, wow.
And so that's where for me, I think I'm probably like halfway. Like there's still so much that needs to happen in book 3. So I was really torn. I'm like, do I keep writing book 3, try to finish it, then I go through the edits and get book 2 done, or do I do it reverse? Stop everything, do book 2. And so I stopped everything. And the biggest reason was I wanted to make sure I got book 2 done and edited, off to formatting, get it ready so we can do author copies, get the ARC out so that it'll at least be released by Lit RPG Con.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many books were you wanting to do in the series originally? Was it
originally? I only thought there was going to be 3.
Okay.
Now I know you're reading on Royal Road. Put in the private chat like where you stopped at, so I know.
Oh, I can just tell you the chapter.
Oh, well, fuck. Now I have to look up on the book and be like, oh, what did I cover in that chapter?
Because I haven't read for a couple of days, so like in my notes, my notepad is somewhere. I didn't have time to grab it before.
That's fine.
Let me see really quickly. but I want to say I'm on like chapter 20.
Why is it not?
Where's the Royal Road app does not like me today for some reason.
Okay, I think I see right kind of where you're at. So
I just finished chapter 20, so I'm on chapter 21.
Oh, okay. So now you know why there's the other essence of purple and all of that, right? Well, book 2 was not even supposed to exist. So everything started when Pepper's dad makes a comment to him when they get to Georgia. And then he thinks about that and he expands upon that. So when I wrote that chapter, I finished it and I'm thinking about it. I'm like, fuck, that's a great idea, because now so many people will, like, who have ever had roommates or ever had that first initial away from home experience, they will be able to relate to this and the frustrations that come along with this. So the entire 2/3 of book 2 were just written on a whim based off of that one sentence. So originally I thought, hey, this is going to be a 3-book series. Benjamin Kire, when I interviewed him, he's like, we talked afterwards. He's like, I want 6 books. You need to write 6 books in this series. And I'm like, I don't have that. Well, by the time I finished book 2, there is another character of the Duck Squad in real life that shows up. So now I'm like, okay, I can now write book 3 where it was supposed to be in the timeline. And I started writing book 3. And then I'm like, oh my God, this person's character is huge now that I see this new direction of what I want to go.
I'm trying to think of who it would be.
The entire ending of the story is still the same, but like the fourth quarter portion is completely different. So what everything I originally planned was supposed to happen has now completely changed. And this character's involvement that I did not plan on, I think is going to be such a huge curveball to people that they're going to be like, holy fuck, this is amazing. So book 4 is supposed to be a very crucial point, and it's going to be hopefully very cool. And then hopefully I can finish on 5 books. Book 5 will probably be a lot less in size, but we'll have to see when I get there. So
I'm excited now.
Okay.
Yeah, now you're just like getting my brain working. I'm like, I'm just thinking about it. They're like final states of like endings. He's either going to be like extremely high rank, like Pantheon League, or like some demons are going to come and fuck everything up.
Or even higher than the Pantheon League.
Yeah, like Ascendant or whatever. Yeah.
So that's what's been really fun is, like, I already knew certain things, obviously, right, of like what are going to happen. Yeah. And what has been really fun is another character that comes into book 2 plants the seed that really brings back the Pokemon. So book 1 was like that foundation of like, hey, there's like this Pokemon type world. Book 2 will really bring you into more of the real steel kind of arena combat. Book 3 is going to be a lot more Gundam. Book 4 will be more Gundam. But by the end of book 5, you're going to be like, oh my God, this truly is Pokemon. So it arcs beautifully with how it now is formatted. But that's where in book 2, you're like, holy shit. Like, I now am seeing the future. This person is telling me what the future is in store, but the technology isn't there. And the end of book 3, you're more than likely going to be like, oh my God, this is insane. So,
yeah. And from like mechanics aspect, the part where you're like, oh, now you can make your own runes. I was like, ooh, there are so many possibilities now. And just the way that like some of the veterans were talking about, so what do you think like this rune for like that's on the portal like means? And they're just like, we'll just fully deep dive into like
rune theory
possibilities, gets your mind going. Yeah.
Yeah, so you picked up, that's a huge seed. And even though it's like a few sentences and just it's a huge seed. And that's what I loved about the book is there are some things that were really put in there and seeds. And I think a lot of people were like, oh, that's interesting. And as they keep going in the series, they're like, oh my God, like, do you mean that one Golem match, the entire reason that match is there is for this? That totally makes sense now. So yeah. So we'll
There's
see.
so much.
It's yeah. What was interesting was when I first started, I loved the fact that every Golem match is completely different and it gets to change, right? And that was why I wrote it that way, to tell people like, hey, you don't know what the next stat screen is going to be, because you get it after the match, and then that gladiator can completely change their Golem for the next match. So what was fun was when I started writing, it gave me a lot of creativity to where I'm like, you know what? I want a fucking T-Rex with a bazooka and like a psionic tail attack. And I can write that. But what I found is later on, it gets more exhausting and it slows my writing down, because I'm like, okay, how do I make this like super unique? And like, what runes should they have? I don't fucking know. It's going to be a spider made of gum. Fuck it. It's super sticky and it's gooey. So yeah, so it's a lot of fun balance between childlike curiosity and wonder, and then like trying to keep combat that's super engaging, that you're like, wow, that's pretty epic.
Okay.
Yeah, and it does have some really epic fights.
It really does.
Like even starting off, like the panda cakes versus the ram, like where he just decapitates him, and he's like, no, he's still going, and you're just now he's firing off lasers. Like it gets crazy.
What I will
so
say
you
though
gotta
is
love the
that I
fights,
feel
man.
like the battles in the end of book 2 get even better, and then I
Okay.
feel like in book 3, like my progression of it gets better and better. I look back at some of the battles in book 1, I'm like, man, I didn't put a lot of detail in there. It's just a few pages, whereas like some battles in the later books, I'm like, yeah, this is like 3 chapters of just fucking match battle.
Well, book 1 is absolutely fantastic. And
Thank
Joel,
you.
have you read Dying Breed
Yeah.
yet? Or have you only done Bloodbath?
I think I only did Bloodbath. I've
Okay.
not started
So,
Dying Breed.
out of the two, would you say that Golem Master might be some of TJ's best work? Not to put you on
It's
the
a
spot.
completely different vibe, and I'm honestly surprised to see that he has like an entire different writing style.
Thank you,
Like
because that's what I wanted to talk about for a second. Was
capability.
like my introduction to TJ's writing was his Dying Breed series. And TJ, Dying Breed series, brutal as shit. Like, what the fuck am I reading in some of it? But we had talked about like, why you put some aspects into it and everything, which it made a lot of sense. And then came the Slaughterhouse series for Bloodbath and everything. And also very brutal. Very fucking brutal. And then I get to Golem Master, I was like, oh, this is a nice change of pace. There's still
we're
some shit
watching
that's happening.
Pokemon. Right?
This is a nice change of pace. Okay. All right.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I can get behind some of this. I'm not feeling mentally disturbed after reading this. My bounds of comfortability is not being pushed by reading this book. And it was a whole change of space. And I was like, this is just TJ's goofy ass, personality in person that
Dark
I
writing?
know.
Never.
So I think it's some of your best writing. And like
thank you.
as a writer, I'm sure you evolved from, when you write your first book to the latest book.
Mhm.
But overall, like, this is amazing writing.
Thank
It's
you.
absolutely fantastic. And I keep getting sucked back in. When I got my copy, I came home and it was like sitting there on the porch. Usually I take pictures of it before I like open the package and everything, or normally I'll do like try to do an unboxing video. No, I ripped that damn thing open. I was ready for the book to be in my hands.
Yeah.
So
yeah, just wait, man.
Yeah.
You're book 2, you're really gonna want to rip it open. You're gonna want to be very gentle with the special items that are gonna be inside there. So
I got my the stickers you had sent. They are on my desk, and then, or I have one on my desk, one's going on the new car, because I'm going to be starting to put all the stickers that everyone sends me or that I get in my little packages every once in a while. They're all going on the car. The new car I just got is going to be Lit RPG-ified. So
nice. Yeah. Well,
yeah, I know.
Go ahead, Joel.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
All right, making it awkward. So I know, like, first getting this book, or not, like, way before we even got the book. Rich has been hyping this up since that conversation he had with you at Dragon Con, where you're like, "Oh, yeah, I'll totally put Status Academy in the book." But getting this book, knowing that I was going to be in the book, I thought it was going to be really, really difficult to not be biased. I was like, "You were in the book. This is going to be awesome." And then I get to my character and I'm like, what in the world of bad first impressions did I ever do to you?
Oh my God.
see, I had read the early chapter of because you had sent me the chapter when you
Not
had read
biased
did, yeah.
anymore.
Initially wrote it, the one that was on Patreon. So the chapter that I had initially read versus the chapter that's in the book, completely different.
Oh.
It was because when I read the initial chapter, like Joel's there, but didn't really have much. It was more of just Pepper going into the office to talk to Principal Stevens, which never thought I would see Principal and my last name together. So that was that was a little shock.
I just can't win with you guys. Hey, put us in a book. We want to be in charge of Status Academy.
I was saying it threw me
Principal
off.
Stevens, why would you do this?
So
I was just saying I never thought I would see that, because I was always being sent to the principal's office. Never in my life did I think I would be on the other side of the desk.
Right?
Even though I'd no longer have to struggle with being biased, seeing the absolute love for the community that you put in this book and just the love letter that it is, like,
it's amazing.
Yeah. Like, I fell in love with it anyway. You dick.
Oh, thanks, man.
You dickhead.
Joel,
just because I'm bald doesn't mean you can call me a dickhead.
I mean, if the shoe fits.
That's true.
Damn.
So what was funny was every time I felt like I turned around, you were just standing there. Every time, we're Ryan DeBruin, me, Richie, we're in line to get into the convention hall. I turn around.
To be fair, Joel
has anyone
just
seen
walked
Harmon
up at
Cooper?
that point.
Oh wait, I think he was. I turn around. Every time I turned around, Joel's just standing there quietly, and it's like almost creepy. So I'm like, you know what? Joel's gonna be super freaking creepy, but there are one or two lines. Oh wow, fuck you too,
we
Richie.
lost Richie.
There are one or two lines that you say that are supposed to imply, like, hey, just because I come off as creepy, it's all an act. So
my system crashed for a second. Oops.
Gotta do the shuffle.
I'm surprised, TJ. I'm surprised there wasn't the bee stinging my tongue joke in there somewhere, since that was like the first day of Dragon Con.
You guys aren't done
I know.
in the series.
I was waiting for it. So I'm curious to see, because I know my request for my appearance in book 3 got, granted, because you told me that you are giving me the item that I was like, oh, please just give me the item.
Yeah. Well, so again, thank you guys so much for the feedback. It means a lot. It's still one of those things, because I just have such a little following that, there's not a whole lot of feedback that we get from I get from new readers. I'm blessed for every person that reads the book, every person that reviews the book, but it's like people that have been supporting me for 3 years,
Yeah.
And so just and of course Amazon, as Richie knows, like doesn't always release reviews right away. So like 3 days ago, actually, I loaded up Amazon and a review from January 26th just randomly appeared. And I had checked the page like every day, right? And so this person is just like, Pepper at the end of book one is not the same person you meet at the beginning. Character growth simply doesn't get any better. Very much looking for the book. And it was like one of those things where I'm like, you know what? I love that. Because I had Bloodbath is extremely brutal for extremely the reason it should be. But I was like, I don't want my character to be perfect, and I want there to be a lot of struggle. So, yeah, or that. So with this story, like it is in a post-apocalyptic setting. And as you guys know from reading the book, like there are a lot of heavy things that are subtly placed in there. And there's still a lot more heavy things that are to come in book 3, book 4. So it was just one of those things where I'm like, man, I want to make this story where adults can be like, oh my God, like I am there. But I also want to make a story where kids, like teens, can be like, dude, this is so cool. Like, I wish I could be in this world. So I'm glad that I was able to hit a lot of those things and to see my writing grow and have this be the story that really shines a lot of my skills that I've grown throughout that time. Yeah. I'm very blessed.
You, like we said, you've done an amazing job. I think this might be my favorite series you've written. And it's not because, hey, we're in it. It's because from start to finish, I was enthralled. And with some of the books you've written, they've pushed my comfort zone. Never really crossed that line.
Yeah.
Except for maybe the Dying Breed 2. Dying Breed 2 kind of crossed it a little bit.
Yeah.
And I was like, but I knew why you would put certain aspects into it. Like we had talked about that privately. So that like it really, I think, like resonated with me. It's like, okay, I know why this is in here. Like it's not something I would have put in, but I understand why it's here.
Yeah.
And then going from that to Golem Master, I was like, wow, this is a whole new thing. Plus, I love the academy setting, even though it is.
It's very subtle. It's very subtle.
Yeah.
But
and the reason why is I struggled in school as a kid. I feel like I'm one of the dumbest people ever. So I'm like, and I never went to public school. I was homeschooled my whole life.
Oh, wow.
So I was just like, I don't want to give them homework or an assignment because I don't even know what that would look like. Like I literally was at school at home. So that's where I was like, we're here. Charles Dean is there. Yay. Okay.
Yeah, it is such a weird academy section, like section of the book, because like the teachers are just like, oh, here's another day of class. Let's watch some Golem tournaments.
Yeah.
Hell
and
yeah.
I'm like, is that like part of the curriculum? Like,
yes, it is.
It is now. I mean, you're the vice principal. You can make it that way.
See, Joel, we get a say now. We're important.
Yeah. But
I mean, if we did run a school, I'm pretty sure it'd be like as crazy as it is in the book.
Yeah. I think the bigger thing though was like I wanted this coming of age story. And the reason why I really wanted Status Academy, and I was happy that Richie proposed it, because I wanted the dance. Like I felt like that scene was so important to really build that post-apocalyptic demonic threat and the resilience that the two characters have in that moment. So I was like, dude, this is perfect. Like I loved writing that scene.
And then after everything happens, we're just watching them dance in the parking lot.
Yeah. Because that's like the whole hope, right? Like, dude, why are we here as teachers?
It was a wholesome scene, but I let out a little chuckle that I'm just like, yeah, that probably would be something that we would do.
Just like creepily watching the kids, like, what are you guys doing? Huh? What are you doing here in the parking lot, you fucking weirdos? So, but yeah.
Well, I don't think I would say that to the kids, but
yeah, you would. We're off camera. We're not being recorded. Them kids.
Yeah, fuck you.
Fuck you, kids. But But yeah, I'm really curious to see like how I bring your guys' character back
I'm excited to see it.
in
I
book
think
3. So
I'm hoping for a little more character growth.
Joel
some,
went on a little spiritual journey
go from
while Pepper was
creepy to
gone.
like stoic, or like, I don't know.
oh, you want creepy to stoic? I will make you Marcus Aurelius. You are leader of the Roman army with
Inside
fucking
my
diaries
head.
of knowledge.
Yes, that'd be epic.
We'll kill Richie, and you can just become the principal.
I mean, that's fair. I'm surprised Brian hasn't killed me in his series yet, since he keeps making fun of my weird name. So
That's fine.
Yeah, it is what it is.
It is what it is, man. It is what it is.
Hey, as long as I go out like a badass, like that's all I care about. So
You won't.
it's gonna be stepped on by a giant demon, right?
Nope.
Aw.
Nope. No, but I mean,
There's gonna be a super attractive golem, and Richie's just gonna be like, step on me.
oh, gross. Oh God, I just gotta. You went somewhere that I didn't anticipate because my mind went like a slight variation. Oh, so much chafing. Woo.
I hate it here. I hate it
Richie
here.
needs motor oil for his lube with that golem.
Jesus. Oh my God. All right, Geneva, go ahead and put it in the chat so Joel can put it up. We know the saying. And now we play the waiting game. It might look like I'm blushing. I'm actually sweating. Our AC is broken in our.
So actually, I have a question for you guys because now you've both read the at least book 1. What is something you want to see more of, or what's something that you were like, oh man, it would be really cool if?
Oh. So this is going to be kind of a little on brand for me because up there. Oh, Geneva, I wanted it as one message.
You're so demanding.
Damn it.
So demanding.
Well, it would look better. Yeah, we only Richie shame. Just leave that up for a while, Joel. Because I guess this would be shaming me for. I want to see more of like Pepper's relationship kind of grow.
In what relationship per se? Like, can you expand upon that?
I want Pepper to have that like romantic, like his person. That's what I want. I want to see more of that because everyone deserves like a moment to just be kind of stoic and happy. And I know some shit's gonna happen. And just for a little moment, I want to have Pepper have that, like just that moment for him.
Okay.
Because I always love when the MC in a book, because I like the romance subplots. Like I wanted to be there. And I know it's weird to ask in an arena fighter for that romance subplot, but also,
oh my God, Geneva.
Jesus Christ. I want, like I said, I just want that moment of happiness for him.
Oh, yep. So, we all want our lobster. Oh, we all want our lobster.
Joel, I'll let you take over.
I'll ask the question later back at you, but to answer your question, I feel like there's 3 things that I want. I know, I'm needy.
Okay.
I need to see some golem versus demon fights.
Okay.
Obviously.
That would be super epic. I want to see someone with the most broken build. Just overpowered. Absolutely. Yes.
Joel, what do you want that build to be, though? That's what I'm curious about.
I don't know.
Do you want to bleed?
Honestly, probably like either like some sort of exponential growth of some kind. Like, I don't know.
Like a
Like we're in the lit RPG community. Like there are so many ways to like cultivate power. So if you just had like a golem that could get stronger after it's made or something, I don't know. Or
So
maybe it's
okay, okay.
just mid fight. Like who knows?
well, it goes back
Um,
to, the being able to craft their own runes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What rune would you
Like
like to
with
see?
that power, you could do anything with that, right?
Like we're back to a crafting mechanic, and we don't get enough crafting
Or
mechanics in Lit RPG.
maybe it's like a full counter build where you just like counter any energy or like physical attack that's thrown at you.
What
There's
about a
so many like
DOT?
possible broken builds.
What? So Richie, how did you think about that sumo golem that showed up in the very beginning of book 2?
I hate it.
You don't like it?
No, I love it. I it's one of those where it's like I'm trying to envision it, and I'm just like, I hate it so much.
Hmm.
But I like it.
Okay.
It was an interesting choice. I'll put it that way.
So you will. Ooh, you're really gonna like chapter 33.
Okay.
I'm trying to go through and find it because that golem shows up again in a second match.
Mm.
Yeah. So
See,
okay.
here's
So
the thing. I want to
hold
stop
on though.
reading
Hold
on
on.
Royal Road. Okay.
So Joel, so you want a golem versus demon. You want a really
Yes.
broken build, and what was the third thing you wanted?
The third thing I wanted. Damn,
Wasn't that the exponential
I
growth you were
had
talking about?
it. No.
Or was that a part of the broken
That was a
build?
part of it.
Oh, he wants to be less creepy.
Oh, I know. I want my character to be the just dropping knowledge bombs. That's what I need. That just completely changes his perspective that he gives people. I don't know.
Okay. All right. I have to write the
Joel's the wise old
Or
wizard. That's
make
just the
it
creepy guy in the
worse.
back.
I was about to
Or
say,
make
like,
it
Joel's
worse,
like,
you know,
dude,
that's
sweet. He
true.
fixed my character. I'm less creepy. And you're like just showing up like your head shoves underneath the bathroom stall. And you're looking up at Pepper as he's taking a dump, like, hey, how are you? Like,
No, hold on.
no.
I got to paint it into picture. Joel,
Okay.
it's that
The
scene
question
in
I
One Punch
was
Man.
going to ask is why Pepper?
As a character name?
Yeah. That's very
Ah.
not a normal name.
So when I started writing Golem Master, I didn't even have his name finished. Like it was just XXX or whatever. Like I was like, I don't know what it is. And so none of those statues work for the Wise Wizard. Facts. I really struggled with it because I was like, I want something that is just super unique. And I really wanted something that would stand out. I wanted something that would be memorable, that you would just like, there's never going to be, besides Pepper Potts from Iron Man, if all you did was really read books, then I wanted my Pepper to be one that stood out. So I wanted that. And then I wanted something that could be easily cool and crafty. So that's where P-Dub or Pep came from. And then I also wanted something that could be super utilized to antagonize him. So peepers, pepperoni. So it was just one of those things where one day I was like, man, I just feel like I like Pepper. It's just so unique. It's crazy. And I was writing a little bit. I got up, I went to the kitchen, and I looked and saw like a pepper shaker. And I just started to reread those first initial scenes in my head. I was like, Pepper said this. And then, Dad looked at Pepper and da-da-da-da. I'm like, that's what it is. That's what it's going to be.
There you go.
All right.
I knew there was some sort of interesting story behind it. That's why I wanted to know.
Yeah. No, you're welcome, man. So Richie, to get back to your thing, you will have that in book 2.
Okay.
One of the great things I loved is with my Royal Road readers, I was able to rope-a-dope them where they're like, are you serious? Come on. Like, clearly Summer likes him. He's obnoxious. He's blinded to it, blah, blah, blah. And then by the end of it, it was just like, fucking see? Like, there was a plan behind all this. Like, there was a reason why he had the hardship. There's a reason why all these things happen, right? So I rope-a-doped him. You are probably going to get a rope-a-dope in book 2.
All right.
And then there's going to be a rope-a-dope in book 3 to a certain point, but there's going to be more of Pepper's relationship. There's going to be a lot more depth that comes, and there's going to be a lot more that builds upon that. So you will get more of that.
Sweet.
Joel. Oh, sorry.
Yes.
I was gonna say I wanted to stop reading it on Royal Road because I just want to wait for the my copy to come in the mail so I can, as soon as I get it, I won't want to put it down. I don't want to read it any more early, but I know it's a little ways off. So I'm like,
I would say if I can, I'm gonna try to get the arcs out in the middle of May.
I can wait.
So
My birthday's the 26th, so
no one asked Joel.
Yeah, Joel, you dick.
yeah, I was waiting for you to finish your sentence earlier.
My birthday's in August, just out of curiosity.
Joel, go fuck yourself. Don't tell me how to write.
Now, so you will get more of Golems versus Demons. You will get that more in book 3. There is some broken builds-ish, somewhat. It's that is also going to come in book 3, but I think you're really going to like the ending of book 2 and how it switches up, and you're going to see the nostalgia to Dragon Ball Z. And we actually have fun joking about that in book 3 at the very beginning. And I'll see about changing your character. I'll see.
It just
no promises.
The amount of disheartening between seeing all the love you have for the rest of the lit RPG community, and then you just do me so dirty.
I mean, if anything, I do JD Glasscock a little dirty because him and Ryan DeBruin, like Ryan DeBruin is literally a sexual harassment briefing waiting to happen from HR. And then JD Glasscock is also always going way overboard that he's getting yelled at by the producers behind the scenes. So, because there's even some stuff that I have him say in book 2 and book 3 to where it's just like, he's probably going to be pissed that I'm saying this, but I don't care.
Disclaimer, we love Ryan DeBruin. He's the nicest, one of the nicest people. He's my favorite Ryan up in Canada. Take that, Ryan Reynolds.
And JD.
Fuck you, Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, fuck you, Ryan Reynolds. We love you. We don't watch our show, but we love you. So, before we start wrapping up, what was probably your favorite scene you wrote in book 1?
I'm so glad you clarified book 1. Because there's been one or shit. Okay. So I have cried in every book of Golem Master when I wrote certain scenes.
Okay.
Like I truly pour my heart into these books. I loved writing the scene with Kyle Wilkinson. Kyle is an amazing human being.
We love Kyle.
He is one of the most genuine people I think I've met. I love the scene when he is driving Pepper in the truck.
Okay.
That one meant a lot to me. And I really loved writing that. I then loved writing the dance scene at the school. And then, there's been, I don't know if there's a certain scene, but there's definitely certain lines that I've said that have gotten me laughing. And I sent one to Jay Baraz the other night, a scene that I wrote in book 3 that he is involved in, and I could not stop laughing. So there's, Avwe. Avwe is super fun. You haven't even met Avwe yet, Richie. He's in chapter 26.
Okay.
Avwe and Lumella. Oh my God.
Who are they based off of?
Avwe is based off of 4 different characters. He is based off of Chris. Is it Chris Rock or Chris Tucker from
Rush Hour?
Not Rush Hour, the one in space.
With Bruce Willis?
Yes.
Fifth Element, and it is Chris Tucker.
Fifth Element. So Chris Tucker's character, that character in Fifth Element.
Okay.
Then with Will Ferrell from Zoolander as Mugatu.
Shout out Mugatu. Shout out
Then
Mugatu.
a blend
I'm so
of
stoked for it.
David from Schitt's Creek.
Love David.
And then the guy from Hunger Games, who's like the game show announcer that interviews all the people.
Oh, Stanley Tucci's character?
So
Stanley
he's
Tucci's,
very
yeah.
out there.
Oh, yes.
Oh, I'm
Oh,
excited
yes.
now. Damn it.
So he is a blend of all of those things. And then Lumella is the complete opposite. So.
Oh, fuck. Okay, so I was going to wait. Now I don't think I can. Damn it, TJ.
Yeah. You've got to get to chapter 27.
Okay.
You'll finish that. And then chapter 28 is the Golem of Many Faces. And that is Steve Campbell's gladiator and golem that he fights with.
Love Steve. I'm so happy Steve's gets a part.
Yeah. Well, of course. Yeah. So
this truly is a love letter to the Lit RPG community.
So I was really emotional about the dance scene, and I felt like that was super critical. And then I loved having the moment of Pepper's moment with Andrea's dad when he's in the house and he goes to visit him.
Okay.
I really enjoyed that scene, but the scene that really made me cry was the very last chapter because I did not plan on it. And I was like, I need something to end on, and I need something that is very meaningful and that would resonate with what book one was supposed to be about, but also what's something new and what's something he hasn't done. And I was like, holy shit, he needs to go to this place and have this moment to show I haven't forgotten about you guys. Even though we don't talk about you in the book, really, I haven't forgotten about you. So I fucking bawled my eyes out when I got done writing it because I was like, yep, that's how you end book one. In book two.
Don't ruin it. No spoilers.
We'll stick with book one for right now, TJ.
Book two.
He's still going.
So I want to answer one of my favorite scenes because no one asked me. One of my favorite scenes is that just whenever the detective shows up and like just immediately solves the crime and it's like it was him, he did this, then he went here, then he did this, and you like as Pepper, you just feel his world start crashing in on him and just like your chest starts tightening and you're like, this is it. Like he's caught. And then even though that happens, things turn out all right. And he ends up going to the con, right? The Golem Con.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So
that is an anxiety.
I really liked that. Yeah. That got me in the feels.
Oh man. I actually had a reader on Royal Road who stopped right there. They stopped as soon as he was arrested. And
really?
I was like, because he was like, dude, you're beating him up too much. I can't take this. Like everything is a loss to him. And I'm like,
I think Pepper,
you needed 2 more chapters. You should have just stayed with me for 2 more chapters to understand why.
I think Pepper is the least beaten up main character you've written.
I mean, compared
to my others,
that's a good point.
Compared to the others, yes, but like I said, like I think, like, yeah, you do beat up Pepper a little bit, but he's nearly not as bad going through the ringer as Slaughterhouse or Dying Breed.
Yeah,
they get put through the fucking ringer.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm like,
in book 2, you already know Wilson.
Yes.
There is a scene with Pepper and Wilson. There's actually 1 or 2 scenes with Pepper and Wilson that really meant a lot to me when I wrote them.
Okay.
Any scene with Jackson, I love it. I absolutely love writing Jackson, and I wish more authors would write people like Jackson into their books because they deserve some spotlight. But there's another scene as well between Pepper and another character where it just shows the fact of like you don't have to. You can support someone and be as a friend. That really means a lot to them in their situation. So I really love writing that scenes. And then Matt Dinneman Band. The Matt Dinneman Band, Richie, you're in for a treat. Chapter 56.
Oh, I already know because you told me what's going on with that one. And yeah, can't wait, because if I have to take a guess, it's going to be reflecting on one of my favorite movies, because it was an ongoing joke that something that's in the first like 10 minutes of that very cult classic from early 2000s, I want to say 2004, the Matt Dinneman Band is going to do something that happens in that movie, and I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm so thrilled. You can tell how thrilled I am, TJ.
I'm just saying. I know I sent it over to Stephen Landry the moment I wrote that chapter. Like it was, still like 2 weeks out from release on Patreon.
Nice.
I just sent it to him and he's like, oh my God, I can hear it. I can hear it in my head. So.
One thing that really concerned me is that some of the jokes in this series goes real
Sorry, the cat
deep
jumped on a lamp.
with like if I didn't know Ryan personally, I feel like I would not have laughed out loud as much as I did in his scenes.
Which
Like,
Ryan
I could be
did I
wrong,
miss?
but like
DeBruin or Maxwell?
DeBruin, also
Okay.
Maxwell, like the BJ Major BJ shirt. I caught that. I was like, you know what that is.
And I want to point out for our listeners who can't see the live footage, there is a cardboard cutout of Major BJ behind TJ on his bookshelf. And I've been
see
staring
that
at
was
it
really
all night.
dark. Yeah.
I've been staring at it all night.
Yep.
So
what's funny is I brought someone into the office. I'm like, yeah, so this is where I do my writing, blah, 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 blah. And they're like looking, at the camera like I am now. They're like, oh, wow, this is really cool. I was like, oh, and this is my friend Brian. They turned around and they're like, oh my God.
So, yeah. Oh, shout out. And I saw one of my favorite books.
To do like a facial recognition software where it just shows you and then there's just Brian's photo. Just tags you. I feel like any like streams you do, it just tags Brian in it automatically.
Yeah, that'd be great. Maybe I'll get a few more readers that way. Like, oh my God, Brian Norton's on this stream. Wait, why is this ugly guy in his way? Where is he, Brian?
Can you just bring that to Lit RPG Con and just walk around with it? Do like a where's Brian?
More than likely, I'm going to do a Ryan DeBruin face shirt with his photo from Lit RPG Con once Geneva gets it to me, because that's the face I want to carry around as well.
Okay. Well, if you need us to hide it anywhere, let us know. We'll do a scavenger hunt with it.
Oh, that's funny. Where in the world is Brian and Ryan's face?
Yep. I think that would be fun.
That'd be fun.
That'd be awesome.
We'll live stream it, have like a hidden cam for it or something. Be like, where is this?
Yeah, that would be funny. God,
and whoever finds it first wins like a copy of a Lit RPG book on Joel and I.
Yeah, we could do something like that.
That would be fun. I think we might have to do something with. Well, we're gonna play in something now. So, but we're coming up on our finale-ish part of the show. Start wrapping it up because I know Joel's got to get ready for work. So we always do our fun little segment of, hey, what you been reading? And TJ, I know last year you had your calendar of Lit RPGs for the month.
Yeah.
So what have you been reading recently?
So I just finished Quest Academy 3.
Great book.
As you guys know, like as I think many people know, it's my favorite, current favorite Lit RPG series. Absolutely love it.
So good.
With that also being said, I am currently reading Discount Dan, performed by Steve Campbell and James Hunter. Super Wonderful book. I am also going through The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. Going through personal stuff. I needed to work on some stuff. And so I really like one of Mel's earlier books. And so I've been going through that. I've been going through Boundaries by Dr. John Townsend. That's been pretty insightful as well.
Okay.
And then more than likely, I will probably start Project Hail Mary next.
Okay.
Because I just picked it up for like $5 on an Audible sale. So
Shout out Audible sales. We love those.
Nice.
yep.
Joel, my man's.
Yeah. So since we did the harem month, my recommendation list has been super like just harem, and I'm like, no, I need other lit RPGs. We did harem month. So I did see Amazon Apocalypse, and Warlock is the one that
Bruce recommended to us.
Bruce recommended last episode. I did read that. It was really, really good. And then I started Amazon Apocalypse, which is another harem, but it's a really, really cool like Apocalypse lit RPG harem.
Okay.
But other than that, I'm going to be starting Discount Dan next.
So good.
And then we'll see where we go from there. But
Okay.
yeah. So, Rich, what you been reading?
Well, since our last episode 2 weeks ago, I've been kind of going through it with books. I had picked up Luke Chimilenko's newest book, Starbreaker Volume 1. I waited for the audiobook for that one to come out, and it was absolutely fantastic, done by the amazing Neil Helligers, and really anything in the lit RPG progression fantasy world that Neil Helligers narrates, I'm most likely going to read. I did get through beta testing the Apocalypse from Athon Publishing. It's narrated by our buddy Ryan Reed. We love Ryan. And I did read Discount Dan last year when I got my copy from James. And then when I found out Steve was doing the narration, that was going to be an instant buy. I mean, regardless, I was going to get the audiobook for it. So that's up next on the list. And then I did pick up like a bunch of books the other day. I picked up Welcome to the Dark Age by Mallory, Mage Tank by Kornman, which is another Athon book. I did pick up the audiobook for Servant of Rage by Alex Knight because I did get an art copy of it. Loved it. Wanted to get the audiobook, show support as well. But currently, I just did a re-listen of Slicing Men by Eric Uglund. It's The Good Guys 14. Because I didn't realize book 15 had come out on Audible back in August. So I picked that up.
Oh,
and that's
yeah,
what
yeah.
I'm currently into. And then I realized how far behind I was on the Bad Guys. So, yeah, because the last book I picked up in the Bad Guys was Trick of Night, which is book 8. And on Audible, it's up to book 11. I was like, oh, shit, I got to catch up.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been listening to and kind of reading. And then I picked up today at the bookstore. Oh, what was that? Because I stopped at Barnes & Noble's. I got a copy of Gate of the Feral Gods, the hardback for, because Matt did make a post saying, hey, this one might be a little harder to find. They only did so many. But I also picked up The Shadow of Gods by John Gwynne. It's a Norse mythology book. And I was like, hell yeah. Not lit RPG, but I'm going to read it.
Yeah.
So that's really about it for me. We do have some episodes coming up that are planned. We're going to start also doing recorded episodes to give us time in case we can't do a live episode. So we'll have stuff on the back
That way
burner.
we got more of a regular schedule.
Yeah, because scheduling can be hard sometimes. It can be, but we have fun with the show. We love doing the show. And we got some fun episodes. Our next episode is going to be with our lovely Dungeon Core Online author, Ren. We love Ren. So that's going to be on the 23rd. Yep. So not this coming Sunday, but the following Sunday. So we have that episode planned. And then we have Cold Fang 68 for Necromancer, or first Necromancer. And then Sean Dunning is scheduled for April with Super Genetics. We got Timothy McGowan scheduled for Dragonstone Academy. And then who else do we have? Oh, Alex Knight is also on the schedule for April as well. So we got a list.
Yeah.
We got a list. And then of course, Lit RPG Con's coming up in July.
It's gonna be awesome.
I'm excited. I want to do a little fundraiser before Lit RPG Con to donate to one of the charities. I don't know which charity. We might do take a poll and see which charity we want to donate to, and just do something. And if we hit a certain goal, I might let Geneva shave off my mustache, since she likes to make fun of it so much. Cold Fang 89. I don't know why I said 68. Life is getting to me at the moment, but we'll let Geneva like shave my head or something. I don't know. At Lit RPG Con, have something fun planned, maybe. And then we also are going to have shirts for Lit RPG Con as well. So TJ, I'll need your shirt size so we can get you a Chattin Stats honorary guest shirt.
Awesome. Thanks, man. Back to the
I'm doing that even
I'm
if
excited.
I pay the $4 myself. We know, Geneva. We know. We know. But TJ, my friend, thank you so much for being on the show again. Thank you for sending us copies of Golem Master, because this is a damn good book. If you guys have not read Golem Master, I know I say this almost every episode, but there's a reason I say it. Don't sleep on this fucking series. It's good. It's good. There's a reason we're talking about it. And it's damn good. So yeah, read it.
And if anything, do it for the good boy Ambridge. If you don't read the book, it's because you don't love dogs. So if you love dogs, you better get the fucking book.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about him at all this episode.
I'm surprised we haven't brought him up.
What's funny though is
there's a doggo. Go read the book.
He's on the cover.
I was really worried that I didn't have enough Ambridge interaction, and then in editing book 2, I'm like, oh no, he's plenty there.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a recycle of, like, it's just the same thing over and over again. But like, he doesn't really have a big part in book 3 at the beginning, but he's going to have a huge part in the end of book 3.
Hell yeah.
So yeah.
After that.
Also, we do have the Chattin Stats website up. So if you would like to be a guest on the show, submit an application. Joel and I, our backlog is yeah. So we'll get to the book eventually. I promise. I promise we'll get to it.
We'll make time. Just let us know you're interested.
Yeah, just let us know. Chattinstats.com. There's an application right there. And also, we're going to have a newsletter. So, shameless plug for the Chattin Stats website. As TJ types away, I hear the clickety clacks.
I was say, I'm going to go submit my application right now to be on the show.
Oh, cool. We'll make sure that gets approved. No, we won't.
Check back soon. We're working on this.
So, but everyone, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Please join us, like I said, in 10 days on the 23rd for our episode with Ren to discuss Dungeon Core Online 5, the finale for that amazing series.
Heck yeah.
So good.
So good.
Thanks to everyone for tuning in live, and hopefully you guys enjoy it taped.
And more specifically, thank you, TJ.
Nah, of course, guys. Appreciate it.
Okay. Bye.
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 Bye.